This podcast is being recorded on the traditional land of the Blackfoot Confederacy. This consists of the Kainai, Piikani, Siksika, and the Blackfeet in the U.S. We acknowledge the Stoney Nakoda, which consists of the Bearspaw, Morley, and Chiniki. We acknowledge the Tsuut'ina, who are Dene, and the Métis, Inuit, status and non-status from all of Turtle Island, and those who are visiting. We are all treaty people.
Welcome to the Dave Leary Show.
Welcome to the Voices in Recovery podcast, brought to you by Freedom's Path Recovery Society in Calgary, Alberta, Canada. Thank you for tuning in. Please remember that these are opinions that are shared are those of the individuals and not of any agency, organization, or other entity, unless otherwise specified. Also, if you're a minor, please check with your parent and or guardian, as you need to have permission to listen to these podcasts. We will potentially talk about violent subject matter, sexual content, and difficulties human beings face on their day-to-day lives in recovery.
Let's talk about Donald Trump.
We got to talk about Donald Trump, obviously.
I think you can inject disinfectant. Let's get our doctors to look into that, because I think that might be the way to go.
I fucking
That
love
guy
it.
is a fucking lunatic.
So that's the clip when he's talking about that, where the doctor's behind him and he covers his face. That's where I'm like, that is so funny.
And then he comes back and says, no, I never said that. I didn't say injecting it.
Video.
Well, you just said it.
Yeah.
Yeah, I love it. My best Donald Trump pandemic quote is, "There's people dying who have never died before."
Seriously?
When did he say that? When did he say that?
It was a while ago now.
Was it?
Yeah, that's
Oh
one of my
God.
That's one of my
seen
best
that.
ones.
I just chalked that up to somebody making that up. It was like, nobody could possibly.
There's
say that.
people dying that have never died before.
Oh my God.
Wow.
For the first time even. Wow, that is far out.
I mean, if you haven't died, you're not really living.
That's true.
That's a great follow.
See, this is exactly why I wanted to get you guys together. Welcome everybody. We got Dom, Darcy, John, and myself. We are just going to talk some shit. We're talking pandemic. We're talking how we're getting by. How is it possible to get by chronically masturbating 6 times a day? I don't know, but I'm still here. I mean,
Amateur.
I'm an amateur. I'm building myself up to pro.
It's bad for your back.
Trust me.
Anybody
Yeah.
with a bad back
I
has
can
been
I
spending
can
too
vouch
much
for
time.
that.
Yeah, I was like, hey, John, how'd you hurt your back today? Oh, well, I had some time alone, No.
Yeah.
I was self-isolating.
That's right. So how did you actually hurt your back, John?
Trying to suck my own dick and fell off the couch. No,
I've never heard of that meditate or yoga pose.
Dude, it's Yoga Sutra.
Yoga Sutra, that's right. No, I was putting my socks on.
Oh my God, I love it.
Literally, I was putting a pair of socks on, and my back just went out. This is what happens when you get old.
Fuck, it's true.
These super extensive, hyper vigilant sport things that we do, like putting socks on and taking a shower.
Yeah, and getting out of bed.
Oh God!
Climbing into bed and yeah. So we're all here. We're all like 6 feet apart. We're doing the social distancing thing in this area. So how's everybody doing? Like, tell me what you guys are doing for your days. Like, I know what I'm doing. I'm still working quite a bit, but most of it's not in person. It's online, so from my couch. I have literally been wearing my robe every day. For every meeting I have online, every Zoom meeting, I'm in my robe, and I literally walk outside in my robe, talk to my neighbors in my robe, because I don't know why I wouldn't. I'm channeling my inner Lebowski, and I'm loving it.
There you go.
So I'm grateful I can still work and work with people and stuff like that. But tell me what's going on, you guys. I haven't seen you guys.
Who wants to go? Everybody's like quiet now.
I know.
Oh yeah, this is the first actual interaction that I've had in probably a month
Like in person.
with another human being.
Yeah.
Other than immediate family.
other than immediate family.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's weird. It's weird.
So what do you guys find yourself doing with your time? Like, I mean, Dom, what about you? Like, we've talked a lot already, so it's your turn.
Yeah. Well, I'm just thankful that I can just channel my inner introvert now, because now I don't have to make up excuses why I don't have to see people. I'm truthfully loving it.
Yeah, I am too. I was going to say.
you on that. Yes.
Yeah.
It's like bliss. Like,
Yeah.
oh, I can't go to that, like, social gathering thing I didn't really want to go
Yeah.
to. Yeah. Yeah, no, this is awesome. I haven't noticed any difference. Like,
That's wicked, dude.
this has been like the most peaceful, like 4 or 5 weeks, like
Yeah.
ever. Like, I tell you. Yeah.
I'm not surprised that you said that, because I was like, when I imagine what your life would be like now, it's like, oh, thank God.
Yeah.
Yeah.
He's just like, because that's what I do most of the time too.
Yeah, I can stay in my house. I don't have to see people.
Yeah.
People ring the doorbell. I don't answer it. So,
Yeah.
yeah, it's all good.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm the same way. I'm honestly, I travel for work and I'm still working, so I'm just working from home when I'm supposed to normally be in the office, but realistically, it really hasn't changed much of what I do.
Yeah.
But it just now I have reason to not go anywhere.
Yeah.
So we have my wife took up the designated shopper role, so I'm like, great. Sounds awesome. I can stay home. So but there's about 14 days where I didn't go anywhere, and that was like a vacation.
Yeah.
I'm lucky I'm still working and getting paid and everything, but it's
Yeah.
just like it was just such a nice not have to phone anybody or talk to people or.
That's cool.
Yeah, it was great.
That's cool. Yeah, because you're still working, so it probably didn't change dramatically, much like Dom.
No.
Yeah.
And me too. It didn't change dramatically.
Yeah,
so.
the only difference for me really, because I'm still traveling, is just it's weird when I travel, but it's the office stuff now is really weird because everybody else is at home. So getting responses from people and finding they're not spending 8 hours a day working like they do in the office, funny enough. But yeah, no, that's been the only weird thing.
Yeah. Interesting. Cool.
Yeah.
John?
Nothing's changed.
Yeah.
Nothing. You know what? I'm like Dom. I am completely content
Yeah.
just staying at home. Just completely content. And oddly enough, it's with the wife and the kids there, we all are getting along.
That's wild.
We're getting along.
Yeah.
And, other than just getting some projects done around the house that needed to be done and, just hanging out. We're actually doing things as a family that we would have never done before. So
Like
it's,
what?
well, like we all sat down and did this crazy jigsaw puzzle.
Oh, yeah.
Like the whole family.
Yeah.
We sat there for an entire night as a family and did this jigsaw puzzle that,
Yeah.
stuff that we would typically have never done.
Yeah. That's
Right?
cool, man.
All going for family walks
Yeah.
with the dogs. And
Yeah.
so in a way, it's been kind of a really nice way to bond together as
Yeah.
a family.
Wow, that's pretty good.
I get it that there's people out there that are really suffering and stuff like that, but and I feel for them. But for myself, it's been really nice. And my wife is working from home now, which worked out really well with what she's going through. And so, yeah, I gotta say, I don't mind it.
Yeah.
I really don't.
Well, and it's kind of interesting, hey, because like you mentioned what your wife is going through, it's kind of a good time to be there together, hey?
Yeah.
Like that's what I was thinking of. I was like,
Yeah.
man, what a good time for the family to be together.
Yeah.
And you're welcome to talk about what your guys are going through if you want. Because that's part and parcel to. I won't talk about it, but
Oh
you
yeah,
can,
yeah.
right?
No, my wife was diagnosed last month with breast cancer, and it's interesting when you talk about that. As soon as you say the word cancer, it just strikes fear.
Oh,
right?
dude, I just got chills when you said it again.
And but she's had a surgery and she's working from home, so she doesn't have to be around any other people. And, immunocompromised people and, elderly people are at higher risk for this COVID. So going through cancer treatment, of course, is a risk for her. So being at home and working from home has been a kind of a blessing,
Yeah.
right? So
Yeah, no doubt.
No, it's been nice. You know, I feel really bad for the people that are suffering throughout this, but we've been enjoying it.
Yeah. Isn't that interesting, hey? Because I'm with you guys. Me too. Like I'm an introvert. Like I have to be extroverted for work and stuff like that. But naturally I'm an introvert and I love the isolation. Like I love it. I probably shouldn't love it as much as I do, but I do love it. And the only time I need to go out is like exercise stuff, right? To kind of move. It's kind of like really making me regret getting rid of all my home gym stuff, like, cause the gym I was just getting back into the gym. So that feels kind of like a shot in the nuts, but everything else is like, yeah, it's kind of like onward and upward, right? Like we're still able to work. And I'm grateful for that. Like I'm not mincing any words about it. I'm grateful that I have a job and that I can go do stuff and still do that. Because I don't know how crazy I'd be going if I didn't, right? Literally, I haven't seen, how long have I been since I've seen you? 2 months?
Yeah, it's been a long time.
Been a couple months, right? We don't normally go that long. And I mean, geez, you and we hadn't seen each other for 2.5 weeks and we're like, crap, dude, I feel like I never see you anymore. Because you get used to it every Saturday, right? Or whatever. Yeah. And I haven't seen you for 2 months either. Yeah. So it's like, to me, that was something I recognized this week when I was thinking about us talking today. And I was thinking, man, I really need the people in my life, right? Like there's no joke. Like it's not lip service anymore. Like it's a legitimate realization that without seeing the people in my life regularly, I am negatively affected by it. 100%. I'm probably not going to die, right? Probably not going to die, but I don't know. But it just seems like that is more of the emotional stuff that I'm going through as opposed to the physical isolation. Because I really appreciate that, right? Like when I don't know about you guys, but when I leave the house in the daytime and I have to go around people, it's fucking stressful, right? Like, because nobody really knows what to do. We think 6 feet, okay, but how do 10 people keep 6 feet apart when they're in the same vicinity, right? And we're so not used to having to do that you can see how stressed it gets people. Just trying to figure out what to do, and nobody wants to be wrong, because then someone's going to call the cops on you and be like, "Oh my God, I saw Dom and Darcy. They were hugging. They were fucking hugging." I'm pretty sure I saw Dom pull on Darcy's beard, and you guys know how dirty those beards are.
Jealousy,
That's right.
It was worth the $1,200.
Totally,
every cent.
It was worth the fine. I would do it again, as a matter of fact.
So what we have all these snitch lines now. So like, are you cool with snitch lines for this? Like,
I am not. I am not. I mean, don't get me wrong. There's like I'm really cool with snitch lines in terms of like
if you see crime,
criminality, like stuff that is.
It's hard though when you see, like the other day, my wife saw 6 or 7 kids at the basketball court playing basketball. Like, do you snitch? I feel like an a-hole if I snitched on them. You know what I mean? Like, I know they're not supposed to do that, but at the same time, like they were all like 10 to 12-year-olds, and I mean, you can't keep them cooped up for all
That's
day
a good
long.
question.
Like,
so you guys are all parents of teenagers.
Yeah.
What do you think about that? You see a group of kids, 6 or 7, playing. Like, is that a thing that you would want to call and report, or?
No, I think there's going to be other assholes that are going to do that for me. So I just leave it up. I just leave it up to them.
So you don't have to be the asshole.
There's no shortage of dicks in society.
Totally.
Yeah.
I mean, I don't feel that I have to, but I mean, I think everyone's going to find what their comfort level is, and I think it's you have to make the right decision for your family, and it's tough for everybody, right? But I think it's this whole social isolation, physical distancing is going to have different effects on people. So I mean, it's hard to pass judgment when you don't know what's going on with individuals. So
no, it's really hard. I think that's a good point, because I'm finding I can't judge. That's where I'm having a hard time with the call-in, right? Is that every time I make a motion in my brain to judge somebody's behavior, I go, yeah, but you did that like yesterday. And then it's like, okay, yeah, right. This is touchy. This is water I don't want to walk into, right? Like, just because of that, because it's really hard for me to say what Darcy should do for Darcy's family, or you guys should do for your family. Because first of all, I don't have kids, right? I'm a selfish, childless heathen, and I love it. But it does limit my perspective on those things, right? Because like I walked by the McHugh Bluff there the other day, and I was walking home, and there was like 6 teenagers sitting on one bench, right? They're obviously they're sharing cigarettes. Okay, so they're not social distancing. But it didn't occur to me to call anybody. I looked and I thought, well, what would I do if I was a teenager? Because at first it made me a little agitated, right? Because I'm an adult, supposed to be. I'm not very mature, but I'm supposed to be an adult. So I feel like a part of me feels like I'm supposed to do something. But I was walking by and I'm like, no way. Because if it was me and I was 16, everybody who told me to social distance could go fly a kite, right? Like, I don't know if I would have listened.
I think,
right? Like,
I think today though, like, and I can't speak for everybody's kids, but it almost seems like the kids, the younger generations were almost social distancing anyway.
Oh.
In the fact that most of their socializing is done electronically anyway.
Yeah.
So like for my daughter, the biggest difference is like the activities she used to do. But even there, like she used to do Muay Thai. Well, the same times every week, they're doing Muay Thai through Zoom.
Yeah.
So you can't spar and you don't get, it's not exactly the same, right? But it's as good as you can get.
Yeah.
So she's still doing that. She's got a little bit of school stuff, but like she's still texting her friends. She's still messaging. She's like, doing FaceTime or whatever with them and stuff like that. So I don't know, like I kind of feel like the younger generations almost were geared for this, just in that they're so used to electronic socializing.
Yeah.
It's not that they're antisocial. It's just that when it's like, okay, well, now you can only use electronics. It's like, no, okay.
Well, and so the kids are kind of like, oh, thank God.
Yeah, like my daughter's loving this because it's like a vacation, right? She's like, I don't have to get up early and get to school and put up with all the bullshit. She's like, okay,
Does she find like is the same experience for your guys' kids? Because you all have
A little
teenagers.
different.
So.
Yeah, ours is pretty much still like every day structured. Like they still have the same classes. They're still getting through their things, and it's. I mean, I guess it just depends on how they're doing it and what they're doing at their schools. But you got to think, like for some people, when you're talking about kids, maybe if your kids are in kindergarten, it's not going to have a big impact. But if you're, in your last year of high school and you're gearing up, you're trying to get your stuff done, and you're trying to get on with your university and getting on with your career, like it's gonna have a big impact. I mean,
None of your kids are seniors yet, though.
Mine's in grade 7.
Seventh grade, yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, nobody's
11.
that old. Yeah, grade 11.
Yeah.
Mine's in grade 11 too.
Grade 11. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's interesting, man. I don't know. That's so cool. So they're doing the Zoom classes, right?
Yep.
Is that kind of what some of the schools are doing? Like,
Yeah, ours are all on Zoom.
all on Zoom? Yeah. The boys too? Or?
No,
No?
they get sent. I don't know what it's through a different learning platform, D2L, I think.
Okay.
And they get their assignments through that they have to complete and submit. So, but you know what? I mean, they haven't been taking a break. I mean, sure they don't have to get up or anything, but they're knuckling down and they're getting their assignments done and they're doing their studies and all that kind of stuff. And
Yeah.
So you know what? I mean, not really a whole lot has changed. So, but it's like Darcy says, they communicate electronically anyway.
Yeah.
So
they might not have the same kind of feelings that we have.
Yeah, I can
Where
guarantee
we-
my daughter doesn't.
You know what I mean? Like with the social distancing, the teenagers and younger kids, they just might not even feel that, really.
Yeah, I think it's going to be, just the break of whatever routine they have. Like if they have some sort of set routine and they're kind of not doing it. So I think, like my 2 are into soccer and looks like there's not going to be any outdoor season this year.
Yeah.
that's right.
But that's where they got the vast majority of their physical fitness from. That's where they, they had a lot of friends and socializations going on there. So I'm sure that they would be more than pleased to kind of get on with, with things and also hanging out with friends and sleepovers and play dates and things like that. But yeah, I mean, they'll just probably adapt a little bit to the circumstance. And I mean, this is going to be our norm for a while now. And it's almost when you look at, pictures online and you see these mass gatherings, you're like, how do we live in that world before? Like all of a sudden we've come such a long ways in terms of, like,
Yeah.
it's not going to be like this jam packed, like people on top of each other. That's kind of like now it gives us that anxiety to even think that, you know, you're going to be around people or having people breathe on you and all these things. So how are we going to get back to that? So
Seriously, dude. Like,
I don't know.
right?
It freaks me out going out right now. Like, when I have to travel, all I see is people touching things. I'm like, and I can't get away from it. Like,
Yeah.
And we're all going to develop germ phobia now.
Yeah.
oh, totally.
Yeah, we're all going to be germaphobes.
Who was that guy?
Howie.
Who?
Howie?
Howie.
Mandel?
No, Howie Mandel. Yeah, that's
He's-
right. He's a germaphobe.
That Hugh, the guy
Hugh
who
Hef-
built the planes.
Yeah, Hugh Hefner.
Oh,
Hefner,
Howard Hughes.
Howard Hughes. I was thinking Hugh Hefner's Playboy. I'm like, Hugh Hefner. Obviously, look,
he
my
had
brain,
no problem with his body and kind of
That's right.
interacting.
He had no
you know.
germ.
my brain is always going to gravitate towards boobs. I'm sorry. It's just the way it is. It's the way I was built. What was his name again?
Hugh Hefner.
Hugh Hefner.
See, now you got
Why do you keep saying the same
Howard
name?
Hughes.
Howard Hughes. Oh my God. This is the best podcast ever.
All right, who is he?
God, now I can't
Howard
remember.
Hughes.
Yeah,
Howard
but what-
Hughes.
Yeah, he was the movie maker. He built like the planes.
We're all
and
going to
stuff.
turn into Howard Hughes.
But he
Yeah.
was a serious germaphobe by the end of his
Yeah.
life.
Like
wouldn't
he'd
even go out
pee
his
in
apartment.
bottles and do all that kind of stuff. Like,
Yeah,
All
like
right.
you couldn't even open his door, that kind of stuff. But
by the end of his life, he was just basically a raccoon.
yeah, because he ended up with like OCD and all these other things that just kind of compounded. And
But and you know what's funny is that like it's hard not to go to that extreme, right? Like I could see why people would, because I mean we're being told that you can't touch this, you can't touch that, don't go there, don't go there. It's not like watching. I could see you driving through like a town somewhere else where you're not familiar, and seeing people touch stuff and be like, I ain't fucking stopping here. Like
Yeah.
just out of something small like that, right?
well, you think if you're like when I'm traveling, okay, so you're driving. Sometimes I'm driving 10 hours to get to where I need to get. You got to stop at gas stations. You need to go to the bathroom. Well, now the gas station bathrooms are like war zones. I'm like, the side of the highway works.
Yeah.
I'm a guy. The world's my urinal. I'll just do that. Like, because it really is. I'm like, nope,
Yeah.
not going in there.
Yeah.
It's like the dead zone, man. Something's gonna eat me in there, I'm sure. So I'm like, nope.
That's because you just watched Zombieland.
Yeah.
And you're like, dude, I can't go in bathrooms, man. Yeah, I can't go in bathrooms.
Rule number 4.
Yeah.
Yeah, don't
Yeah.
trust bathrooms.
I like the people who are driving in their cars by themselves who are wearing a mask. I mean, I'm still
I
kind
know.
of wrapping my head
Or
around
they
that.
wear the
but-
gloves for everything and touch your phone and put them in your
Yeah.
mouth and touch your face with the gloves on.
Yeah, I can get down with a
Still
lot
that
of things. But
protection.
Yeah.
just when you said you were driving for 10 hours, I could just, were you wearing a mask the entire time, or did you?
Just half the time.
He doesn't want to talk about it.
All by myself. It really affected my singing while I was driving, but otherwise it was good.
Yeah, it affected your normal recordings on the road.
Yeah.
Darcy's road songs.
I do carpool karaoke with me.
We're going to start a series, Darcy's road songs.
Sadly, I thought of that in my last trip. I'm like, oh my God, I'm going to go insane. I should start recording this now.
So yeah, like you mentioned it, going outside, it sucks. Like, especially if you have to go into people, right? So there's like, I don't know what is happening. Maybe it's just because we're not aware yet of how to do this. But for fuck's sakes, if you're a couple and you're walking towards another couple on a fucking sidewalk, if you see one couple go single file, go single file. Go single file. That doesn't mean that the person in the middle can then go further over towards us. Go single file, you fucks. Like, seriously, it's easy, it's logical. And yeah, you know what? I don't even mind that I'm getting a little riled
You
up.
should add a trigger warning here.
Yeah, trigger warning here is that, like, seriously, if you're walking side by each, and that comes from working with an Easterner. If you're walking side by each, and you're both walking side by each, you got to go single file. Like, you got to go single file. And if you're an old ladies with your running club, and there's 3 of you aside, maybe go single file. I'm just sending it out there because you know what? I don't want to be bothered by the resentments that you're all causing out there for me. I just want to let it go and tell you to go single fucking file.
Yeah.
Please.
I'm surprised you haven't come up with the occasional sneeze or cough, just to freak people out and get them to clear like right out of the
Funny,
way.
he knows me pretty good.
Yeah,
Because I've actually done that. Like, when they don't go single file, I'll go "Achoo," into my arm, and then they go single file.
Yeah.
Trust me, if you want to see people go single file quick, just sneeze outside.
turn, run, go the other
Yep.
way.
Like
Yeah.
seriously, and you know me well because you knew I would do
Yeah,
that.
yeah.
I
Just
told
freak
Heather, I
people out.
said, I'm going to try not to do that when you're around. But when I'm alone, I have to tell you, I do it all the time. Like, literally. What do you guys think? Like, I know there's lots of rules and stuff, and I'm not trying to be a rule monger, but come on, single file. Like, even if there's not a
I
pandemic.
just think you have to avoid people. Like, personally, if I was walking anywhere, I'm going to go, try to stay 6 feet away from them.
Yeah.
Even if it means walking on the grass. I don't give a shit. Like,
Dude, we
you gotta stay away
decided,
from people.
I determined yesterday with my friend when I was out for a socially distanced walk and chat, we decided that it's okay to walk in the street now. Like, it's just okay. Like, I've been fighting that urge to walk in the street and fighting the urge to go into traffic and stuff, but the reality is there's nobody to go out there, and I'll go tell her in just a sec.
You're doing back-to-back podcasts, like you're doing an epic marathon session.
Yeah.
Okay,
Yeah,
Good.
we're doing marathons, dude. It's because the only time I get to see you guys is when I jam things together.
Guys, hey, you guys.
Hey, you guys! So what were we talking about?
I don't know. Now I want to get you a shirt with him on it.
I love that idea.
Yeah.
We were talking about walking, single file.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, I think you just have to avoid people. I think it's rude to try to make other people avoid you.
Well,
But I thought that
Dude.
before COVID, so...
I believe you. I agree with you. Except for when you go out of your way to do it.
Oh, totally. Yeah.
And the other people don't. So this is what I mean. Whether it's a pandemic or not, this is like sidewalk etiquette. Okay? If you want to be the dicks who just walk side by each while everybody else is getting out of your way, that's fine. Be the dicks.
See,
right?
that's where you get a
But
slingshot
remember,
and shoot him on the edge.
I'm just going to say that. Remember, when you're a dick, things come to you that you don't expect. Like a sneeze or a cough or some asshole punching you in the neck.
Sneeze as you go by them, right on them. Oh my God, they might like come after you then.
It'd be a fight.
Oh, yeah.
And then I'd be like, look, officer, he attacked me.
Get a spray bottle and just go spray him.
Dude, I love you guys are giving me
Oh,
ideas.
Yeah.
I mean,
So-
I don't, recommend it.
I've just monopolized the conversation, so, and I do that all the time because I have a big mouth. Is it that stressful for you guys when you go out in public, or am I the only one who feels that way? That's really where I was getting to.
Yeah. Well, I think it's perspective. I've avoided Costco for that very reason. I mean, maybe I'm missing out, but I don't know, and I don't want to judge, but I don't get, like if there's something I should be getting at Costco, maybe I'm missing out, but I don't think I really need to stand in line in between.
I haven't
a whole
even been
bunch of-
there. I've not even thought of it.
Yeah, but I don't know. Like I get what I need, I go home, I hang out.
Yeah.
But yeah.
It's a good question, though. What is it about Costco that people are so
Or
like...
Walmart, right? Like, what is it you need to panic buy at this point?
Yeah,
Yeah. I stand in line for very little.
yeah.
But I think, I was going to go to Home Depot because I actually really needed some stuff around the house. And there was 30 people in line. So I was like, no, I'm out. I guess I'll go.
Really?
Yeah.
Yeah.
30... Were they waiting in line like they have it on the TV and shit? They show them waiting outside?
Yeah, there's only
Yeah.
a certain number of people. Like each
Allowed
store is
in,
kind of,
right?
yeah. So I'm kind of just like, I guess I don't need it that bad, but I'm going to make
Yeah.
that kind of decision. But otherwise, I'm not standing in line
Yeah.
with a whole bunch of other people, even if it is 2 meters apart. So,
Yeah, that's ridiculous.
Yeah.
Right?
I don't have the patience at the best, even without
Yeah.
COVID, to stand in lines like that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But like Peters was the same thing for weeks.
Yeah.
It was like there was no traffic on that side, and then you get to Peters and there's a lineup for 6
Interesting.
blocks
Still is.
of cars. And I'm
Yeah,
like,
there was today, too.
Wow.
I mean,
Yeah.
Peters is
Drive-through.
okay, but I mean, really? Like,
Yeah.
my daughter wanted a milkshake there, so they waited in line.
Yeah.
And granted, it's in your car, so at least you're social distancing, but
Yeah.
they said it was like 40 minutes before they got through, and I'm
A
like,
40-minute wait, eh?
yeah, I'm like, their food is not 40-minute wait worthy,
Yeah.
in my opinion.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So I'm just like, I don't get it. But I'm not a line guy
Yeah.
to begin with. So.
No. We saw that and it was like In-N-Out Burger. When they had actual traffic cops directing traffic
Yeah.
for the line for In-N-Out Burger.
Yeah.
Crazy.
That's happened many times. That's a good place to go, though. They have
Yeah,
good
it's not.
burgers.
Yeah, I know, but Peter's Drive-In isn't In and Out.
That's a good point. Yeah. Peter's Drive-In is no In and Out. Man. So we're all hanging in there then.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, you know what, and I think the
Barely?
toughest thing right now, and I don't think that I'm the only one that's going through it, is missing meetings. Right? People are maybe not technically savvy or not comfortable doing these meetings, or they find that connection in the rooms.
Yeah.
That they're missing that now. And I think that's really unfortunate because, and I don't know if it's going to have a negative impact, but I think if you're new in recovery and you can't go to the rooms, then I don't know. I think it would be really difficult
Yeah.
for someone who's new in recovery.
Absolutely.
Zoom isn't gonna have that interaction piece
No.
that you need, right?
Well, I mean, it does. I mean, we've been doing Zoom meetings, but still, there's just something about that face-to-face interaction that gives people solace in the rooms.
Well, and there's an accountability, I think, when you're in person. Like there's some level of accountability that comes in, and like that's something I've noticed about the room since I came in was that whenever I walk in a room, I feel like, okay, I'm going to be honest here. Like this is at least here I'm going to be honest or whatever. And for new people, it's really a mind fuck because when new people come in, we tell them, do not isolate. Like if you isolate, chances are you're going to drink, right? Or you're going to use again. Because left to your own devices, you'll do exactly what you've always done, right? And that's what we teach. So it's kind of like, how are those people adjusting, right? Because, and I've talked to lots of people. I still work with lots of people, and it's hard. Like it's a real hard adjustment. The accountability piece, but also the fact that we've been telling them to not isolate, and now we're saying you have to isolate. So figuring out how to navigate the isolation with new recovery, I think, is very tricky.
Yeah.
So how do you feel about the liquor stores being considered an essential business?
Yeah,
Because alcohol itself has really no medicinal purpose
But
whatsoever.
here's why I think it's
So-
essential. Here's why I think it's an essential service: is you will have fucking anarchy if you close them.
I agree. Yeah.
Honestly, that is one of the only things that I think about because I don't obviously care whether alcohol is available or not.
Yeah.
But the reality is, if it's not available, what are you going to see in the community when that stops being available? What do you think?
Yeah, I mean, I think for myself personally, I mean,
Besides, I want you to
think
be able to get drunk if you want.
yeah, like I think it would just be like, oh, well, okay, like I guess I can't do that anymore. It'd be the same as going to Costco or going to Peter's. Like I'd just like, meh, I guess, like,
Yeah.
ideally it's probably, some choices kind of forced on me but I think, like if there's something medical to it, like if there's going to be like some sort of like, some sort of impact greater than what I have.
Yeah.
But I mean, I guess, like, it doesn't seem to be an economic thing. I know that, people, I'm sure their businesses are still probably hurting from maybe some down sales, but is there more to it than just like the economics? Is there something more to it than people?
I think so.
Yeah.
Yeah. I think it's become and you guys can disagree with this, but I think it's become an interwoven fabric in our society,
Alcohol?
having alcohol.
Yeah.
And I think it's like, that's why prohibition didn't work. Like it's been a part of almost every human culture.
So you're saying it's liquid cope at a time when we need the most amount of resiliency?
Absolutely.
It's
Yeah.
a crutch?
Yeah. I legitimately think that it's kind of like, now not for you, right? For you, it's,
Maybe, I don't know.
but I don't.
I've never been in that position, so.
Fair enough, but I could see it being similar to, like you said, with Costco for you, right?
Yeah.
Because it's never been a thing for you. Not that I've been aware of anyway. You could be a secret drinker, but you're very sneaky then. Like super sneaky.
Why, thank you.
You're welcome. Like a ninja, like a drinking ninja. But I think that it is.
I'm getting a t-shirt.
Yeah, dude. Dude, you're a drunk
all getting
ninja.
t-shirts now.
Yeah, man. I think t-shirts are a good idea. I think it is. I think it's interwoven in a lot of people's ability to cope with a day, right? Not necessarily in an alcoholic way like you and I maybe, but like in in a sense of just safety and security. Right?
Okay, well, let's take it up 1 degree then.
Okay.
What about cannabis stores, right?
Same.
Yeah.
Yeah, same.
Okay.
I think that if we, don't get me wrong, I'm not just saying that for anyone who's using that. I mean, even for those who aren't, right? Because the reality is, if we were to just erase people's coping mechanisms without like thought of the consequence, kind of like smoking, like cigarettes, right? It's like, why haven't they outlawed them yet? Well, there's a very good reason they haven't. Money, for sure, finances, but I think it's also got to do with the same hook that alcohol has in society, right? It's like, look, what do you think smokers are going to do if you take away the cigarettes?
Well, I'm wondering what happens if Netflix goes down. Like,
Same with that, dude. When we become dependent in that way,
How
right?
dependent?
Yeah. But it's the same idea. So I think that we're just now getting used to Netflix as like a coping mechanism. So, but it is becoming, I think it's already becoming interwoven in a lot of people's lives.
Oh, I think Netflix for sure has this whole streaming idea.
Yeah.
Because it's kind of become like Kodak, where
Yeah.
you don't say, "Oh, I'm going to go home and watch Disney Plus or Prime."
Yeah.
You say, "I'm going to go home and chill and watch Netflix."
Yeah.
Even though you probably will watch
Do
other
all
stuff,
of the other things. Yeah.
but it's always just Netflix.
Yeah.
You know, so it's kind of like become Kodak, where
Yeah.
that was a company, but it kind of just became the product, right?
Yeah.
So I don't know. That's kind of what I look at it anyway with Netflix.
Yeah, exactly.
Because everybody knows as soon as you say it what you mean.
Yeah. You're going to watch some shows or something.
Yeah. Except my wife, who didn't understand what Netflix and chill meant. So she kept saying it, and my daughter kept getting embarrassed. And
Yeah. And so then you were finally like,
Well, no,
Michelle,
I
tonight
wasn't-
we're going to Netflix and chill, and I'll show
Yeah.
you what it's all about.
well, I wasn't home, so my daughter had to explain it to her.
Yeah.
Oh, shit.
Oh, yeah, my daughter was real happy about that.
Oh, yeah, I'm sure she was.
Yeah.
Mom, this is gross.
Yeah.
Like, I just think that, look, I'm all for people coping however they cope, whether it's a pandemic or not. So that's what I mean. Like I don't have a problem with alcohol in general. I only have a problem with alcohol when I consume it. Like, it's not, I have no thoughts on it outside of that. Like, I just don't. I think like finding a happy medium for people, I hope most people can. And I think most people probably can, right? There's probably a good percentage of us that can't, and at varying levels of can't, right? Like, there's some of us that as soon as you put liquor in us, we're psychos, right? But we're not all going to hit that same level in the same pace, right? So it's kind of like, I don't know. I just think when you start messing with people's coping, you really are testing waters that the government probably doesn't want to test. I think, I mean, we're all kind of on the edge of our seats anyway, right? Like today with coping, even those of us who have maybe good coping skills, I'm still struggling at times, right? Like, even though I've learned how to cope without alcohol and shit, but it's still, man, this is a strange time. You know, I think it's too strange. Like, I mean, take away cigarettes. I bet you goddamn country burns down. Like, I mean, have you ever seen a smoker not with their smokes when they're not wanting to quit?
Oh,
Like, it's unpleasant, right? Like, anyway. Yeah, so, well, I appreciate you guys coming and talking. Is there anything else you want to talk about the pandemic? Did I miss anything? Did we?
I mean, there's so much to talk about.
oh
Yeah.
God, yeah. There's so much to talk about.
I mean, you could take that any way you want.
Well, you
Politics,
notice?
everything.
Well, that's what I
It's
didn't
crazy.
ask about, because, like, I don't know about you guys. This is something that I've noticed. I don't even know. When I hear a news from any outlet, I'm like, I don't buy it. Like, there's a part of my brain now that's just like, none of this shit makes any sense. Like, it's
Do you mean
all
it's like
untrue.
fake news?
Like, all of it's fake news, Donnie. Right? Like, I catch myself saying, "Are you sure?" Every time
Yeah.
someone says something, I'm like, "Are you sure though?"
Well, if you don't watch the news, then you're uninformed.
Yeah.
If you do watch the news, you're misinformed.
Yeah.
Who said that? That was a great saying.
Yeah,
right?
who was that?
I don't know. But
That is a
that's
good saying.
Yeah. That
It
was.
is, yeah.
Yeah.
I don't know who that
Yeah,
was.
but that's a good one. I
That
like
is a good one,
Yeah.
and it's true, right? But now it seems like,
I actually find myself just trying to tune that out.
yeah,
Like before, I was trying to stay in touch with what's going on in politics and all various levels. But I find now I'm just like, you know what? I just rather tune all that out.
yeah,
Like I don't want the daily updates. Just tell me when. If you say stay home, just let me know when I can leave again.
Yeah.
That's really it. It's like because I think a lot of it almost builds up more anxiety if you listen to that every day, and it's just like we're all gonna die, we're all gonna die, we're all gonna die every day. A reminder that we're all gonna die, and this for me, that's just not like that's not healthy. I'm just like.
So that brings up a good point I wanted to ask you guys about too, and I keep forgetting because of my brain damage. But what is the use of having these numbers every day? Like, what's the point of that? Is there like a legitimate positive point, or is it literally all negative to count the numbers of dead and sick and every day looking at those numbers?
Well, I'm sure, like for the people that need to build out kind of the models and, people who need to understand the problem, I have no doubt that there's probably some good solid math and some, solid, and that drives the strategy, the numbers are driving the strategy, and, we're going in the right direction. I think that's most people would say, that's why we're collecting those numbers.
Oh, the numbers for sure. Yeah.
Yeah. And I guess, how do you interpret those? I mean, for me, it's interesting to go and see, every day and try to compare, where are we at? Are we flattening the curve? Like, do we see it? I mean, I look at some charts and I'm kind of like, I don't know if I mean, the math tells us we're not there yet, but, and that's why we're going to be doing this for quite a while. So, but it just, I think, for especially people that are high on anxiety or, for people that kind of struggle with that, it becomes, very, very much a fixation for, what's life going to look like. And then whether you're watching the news and you're like, are they going to be able to find, some sort of cure for this? Like, are they going to be able to find like some way of inoculating all of us? And now they're even speculating, what if we can't? Like, what if this is something that we're not able to immunize you against, like measles or something like that? So I think if you could see somebody who gets onto CNN and watches CNN all day, it doesn't make for a very healthy mindset. It is very fear driven, and it is very much, and that's maybe just what sells newspapers and news stories is. It's good news, but it's maybe not good news for all of us. Yeah.
Yeah, no, that's a good point.
Well, I think for the masses of people, like, what was it, that clip from Men in Black? The one where he says, a person can be calm and rational, but people are panicky animals.
Yeah.
Right? And if we don't have these numbers coming in every day, you can see how people would become complacent to say, well, I haven't heard anything, must be business as normal. Like, let's get back out there and do it. Right? At least if we have those numbers to say, hey, listen, this isn't going away.
Yeah.
More people are getting it. More people are dying. What we're telling you is serious. We want you to stay home. Right? I think that the general population would see that and go, I was going to go to Costco today, but maybe I don't need that 20-pack of hummus or whatever. Whatever it is I had to go out to get. Right? So, I mean, is it negative? Yeah, the numbers are negative and they're intimidating, but I think for the majority of people, it gives them a baseline to say, yeah, you know what? Maybe this is serious.
Yeah. Yeah.
But
no, that's fair. That's fair. I felt like I feel like I don't need that, right? Like I appreciate that the people who compiled the numbers need the numbers, right? And I think in the era that we're in now of transparency, it makes sense to show those numbers, right? And to be transparent, because if you're not transparent, we don't trust you. But if you are transparent, we don't trust you.
Yeah.
So be careful out there. But it's I don't know. I'm like you, Darcy. I'm like, dude, tell me when I can go back to normal or whatever the new normal is, and I'll do that, right? Like, I want to be a good citizen. I want to do what I'm supposed to do, but I also don't want to follow the dumb citizen train down hysterical avenue, right? Where because of fear, someone who watches the news every day, like you said, it's not a healthy mindset. I don't care who you are. You cannot put that kind of information in constantly and feel good, right? Like, it's impossible, I think. Unless you're doped up. Maybe if you're in the hospital on morphine, it's okay.
But right? That's the hard thing now, is because you suddenly have all this time.
Yeah.
Okay, so you're going to go spend some time on Facebook. What's Facebook?
Yep.
Covered in this stuff.
Yeah.
Well, I'm going to go to Twitter. It's filled with it.
Yeah.
So it's like you can't get away from it.
And it's all hysterical.
So I can see how a lot of people really would get worked up because it's a great time to relax, essentially, really. But at the same time, all the things you do to relax normally kind of have this, all this messaging. Like you turn on the TV, it's on there. You turn on your social media, it's on there. So it's like that. I think that's why things like Netflix and these streaming services are so overly used right now.
Oh, they're huge.
No commercials. There's no mention of it.
Yep.
If you don't want to watch those types of movies, you don't have to. And so, but I think for a lot of people though, it's like it's almost hard to get away from it. So.
Yeah, you can't get away from it.
Yeah, and I don't know if we need to get away from it. Like so long as we can be reasonable with with what we're doing with the information, whatever the information is, right? Like, there's one thing that really kind of bugs me too. Wow, I shouldn't say it bugs me. It's not like the side by each thing. It doesn't bug me like that.
This is not a trigger warning.
Yeah, it's not a trigger warning. We're okay.
Massive string of cuss words coming.
It's kind of no. It's the people that like condemn us for being so cautious.
Yeah,
because the numbers of death aren't high. And every time I hear that, I'm like, okay, are you hearing what you're saying? Okay, because we're cautious, the numbers aren't as high as they would be if we weren't cautious. Hence, we're cautious. Now, I get it. There's like this, I don't know if it's an American thing or whatever. We're going to wait until it gets really bad, and then we'll be cautious. I don't get it. Like, I understand. I know this isn't the Spanish flu. We don't have millions dead. But there's a reason we don't have millions dead. Possibly the reason, or many parts of the reasons, are because we're social distancing. We shut down shit. We're not packing in gymnasiums. We're not packing in different places with all these people. There's a reason it's not that bad here.
Yeah, maybe the one good thing that comes out of this is people are responsible for their for what they're bringing around other people, right? Maybe this is a good thing that's going to come out of it. Like, how many times did you show up where somebody's like sick and snotty and coughing all over you?
And you wish they stayed home.
Yeah, like maybe this is going to be like next year flu season is going to look a little bit different because everyone's going to be like, well, maybe I need to stay home for like 10 days until I feel better so I don't go out and cough all over people. So
and what a good lesson that would be, man. I hope we get that from this. That would be awesome. Because I really don't think, I mean, obviously we've all gone to work sick, right?
Oh, yeah.
But I mean, even for us, I'm sure it's going to change us. Right?
Yeah, for
Like,
sure.
I'll be less likely. Like even this week, having you guys come in, I was like, "Fuck, is this the right thing to do?" Like, I know there's only 4 of us. We're all separated and stuff. But
what do you
still,
mean? I'm sitting on your lap. Like,
I know. Well, what we didn't want to tell you is that Dom is sitting on my lap, and he's been giving me a handy the whole time.
you guys are
And we're not editing that out, Dom.
That's getting edited now.
How to make this more awkward.
Well, the idea that Dom brought up sitting on my lap. See, this is my problem.
I'm just wearing pants for the first time in like 4 weeks, so just
I know. Well, that's the thing. You're sitting on my lap. You have pants on, and I don't.
yeah. Editor's note, last 2 minutes. Like,
Yeah.
I don't know how that footage got
Yeah.
lost.
I think we should keep that on there.
No.
Because it's funny. I don't know. I mean, no other reason why. But yeah, I think. Fuck, what were we talking about before that?
I don't even remember.
Yeah. That just got me thinking about like when I was still practicing out there, and one of my partners did that under the table at a bar. Gave me a handy. That got me thinking about it. Yeah, I was like, man, that takes me back. So we're joking, and then I'm thinking about an event back in my life where I was like, that was pretty sweet.
Yeah.
That was pretty
Down
sweet.
memory lane.
Yeah.
I mean, I was a ditch pig, but I was pretty sweet. Okay, yeah, it was.
I like how, you're very shy with your personal discussions. So,
I know.
That's good.
That's something you've always appreciated about me, I think. Is how shy I am.
The lack of filter.
Yeah. Is there anything else, you guys? But I thought about this because I didn't want you guys to I didn't want to infect you or fuck you guys' shit up in any way. So all week it's been on my mind. Like this has been as much as I've enjoyed it the whole day. Like it's been stressful this week. Just thinking about it. I would hate to ruin you guys or get you guys sick or have you guys get me sick and then, that would suck.
Well, that's what I think about because I'm still traveling.
Yeah.
I'm staying in hotels and I'm getting gas. And
Really?
so, that's what I think about all the time. It's and I'm doing whatever I can. I'm like a wash station in my truck and I use it and stuff like that. But I'm like, when I go home, I could have this for weeks and not know.
Yeah.
And then they go, well, where did you get it? I've been everywhere from Fort St. John, Fort Mac to Carlisle, Saskatchewan. You name it.
Yeah.
Like,
You're like, well, I got it in Brooks eating a hamburger, and then I
yeah,
drove
well,
around.
last week I was in Brooks. I was in Brooks 3 days ago.
Oh, were you?
Yeah, Wednesday.
Yeah.
Wednesday. So like, but yeah, I was driving into Brooks. I'm like,
Did you have to stop there?
yeah, I have a warehouse in Brooks, so I had to go there. And I mean, it wasn't there long because it's a small place, but it's just even the thought of just being there. But that's that whole germaphobe thing coming out. Like, it's out of the town. It's nowhere near. Like, it has nothing to do with the meatpacking plant.
Yeah.
But I'm like, yeah, but it doesn't matter. Now the whole town's infected.
Yeah.
It's like zombie land there. Yeah. You know what I mean? Like, that's I'm constantly like coming here. I'm like, well, I'm the one traveling and bringing it around.
Yeah. Oh my
So-
God, zombies. Yeah, we were all thinking it was going to be zombies, and here we are watching Netflix.
I still think we should all get like do the whole zombie makeup and go run around in parks. Just fuck with people.
I like where your head's at.
You social distance.
You're a
but
bad
just
influence
Run around
for me,
like a
man.
zombie. Oh my
Yeah.
god! See how fast the
Except for
you
those
get
people
on
walking
the snitch line.
side by side. They won't get out of your
Yeah.
way. So.
Those side by each,
headlines.
those side by each bitches are getting bit. You want to go side by each? You're gonna.
A man was beaten to death earlier today.
Yeah.
Police suspect
Shot in the
alcohol
head.
was involved.
Yeah. He was just quietly minding his 20-pack of hummus. And he was taken down. So.
Speaking of 20 packs of hummus, have you guys seen Don't Mess with the Zohan?
No.
If you haven't seen it, watch it, man. It is Adam Sandler at his absolute best. It is ridiculous, but he uses hummus for everything in that movie. It is so fucking funny. Like, well, I was listening to Joe Rogan, and he was talking about Adam Sandler movies, and I'm like, yeah, some of them are really fucking good. And then I was like, I'm gonna watch that one again because I hadn't seen it probably since I smoked years ago and drank shit tons. When did that come out? Anyway, I can't remember. It was fucking funny.
Wow.
Pretty fucking funny. And I mean, I know they're cheesy. We were talking about movies earlier.
Yeah.
Don, what's your favorite movie?
Ooh, geez, spring that on me. I don't know. Oof.
He knows what
I
it
don't
is.
know.
It's Ben-Hur. His favorite movie is Ben-Hur.
Porkies.
Porkies.
Yeah.
Did you ever see
That was a
Porkies?
pretty.
It was hilarious.
Good.
It was awesome.
Yeah. God. I got nothing.
Nothing.
I got. I mean, there's so many. I'm a movie aficionado, but yeah, it's tough for me to pick one. So.
Yeah. That's
Yeah, next time we're going to invite you for the podcast with that one when we talk about that.
Yeah. I mean,
It's like asking what's your favorite song. Like it's so hard.
yeah.
Which is your favorite child?
Yeah. Well, I always tell people, I have an amazing, wonderful, absolutely great child, and then I have another child. So I mean,
It's up to their discretion.
And you get to figure it out.
They can pick one of the two. So yeah.
I have a great child, and that's our dog. And then, yeah. All right. You guys good? Feel good? I really want to thank you guys for coming in. I know it probably seems to people like a really lame thing to do when we're supposed to be pandemic, but I miss you guys. I just fucking miss you.
Yeah, me too. And we've done everything right.
Yeah. And just so you know, the door handles, I've washed these door handles up and down all day. So you guys, we should be okay. Yeah. We've
So
been
you've been playing with your knob all
sanitizing.
day is what you're telling us.
Well, when I said
Did you
6
polish
times a
those knobs
day,
really well?
when I said 6 times a day, what exactly did you think I was referring to? Think about it. 6 times a day means I have to do it just about every couple of hours.
Why did I just go to? I went straight to basketball where she's holding the hitch and she's like, "I got
Oh
the
my-
chrome off."
Oh my God, that was a great movie
Oh, I
too.
love that movie. Anyway,
Maybe when you're done that, you could polish my lobby, if you know what I mean. And she's like, I think I know exactly what you mean. Like 5 minutes later, she's got the polisher.
yeah.
She's all buff on the floor. And he's like, oh, did I fart? Every time you make that face, I think I farted. Fuck. Okay, thank you very much, you guys.
Thanks, David.
All right, thanks, David.
Thank you for tuning in this week to the Voices in Recovery podcast. Please stay tuned every Wednesday as we air another episode. Thank you for your time. And please, if you're in trouble, reach out. If you need to contact us at www.freedomspathrecoverysociety.ca, or you can look for us on Facebook under Freedom's Path Recovery Society. Thank you again for tuning in. Please stay tuned for upcoming groups, activities, and podcasts.